Captain Zethvar stared at the data readings for the third time, his four eyes blinking in sequence as he tried to process what he was seeing. The violet-skinned Kethran had been exploring uncharted systems for over 2 decades, but nothing had prepared him for this. "Communications Officer Yila, confirm these readings," he commanded, his voice carrying the weight of disbelief. Yila, a slender Vorthon with crystalline skin that sparkled under the ship's lights, ran her delicate fingers across the holographic display. "Confirmed, Captain. The planet registers as a Class 15 death world. Atmospheric composition shows 91% nitrogen, 20% oxygen with traces of argon and carbon dioxide." 20% oxygen? Chief Science Officer Drex Thul's mandibles clicked nervously. The insectoid Zephyrian had never encountered such extreme conditions. That's enough to cause spontaneous combustion in most organic materials. How is there any plant life surviving down there? The main view screen showed the planet in question, a blue and green marble suspended in the void, swirled with white clouds. It looked deceptively peaceful from space, but the sensor data painted a different picture entirely. "The gravitational pull is 1.03 times standard galactic measure," Yila continued, her voice growing more strained with each reading. "Surface temperature ranges from -40 to +60 degrees standard. But, Captain, the truly terrifying part is the geological activity." The screen shifted to display a cross-section analysis of the planet's structure. Red zones pulsed across multiple continents, indicating areas of intense seismic activity. "The entire planet sits on unstable tectonic plates," Drexathul observed, his compound eyes reflecting the red warning lights. "Look at these fault lines. They span entire continents. This world experiences massive earthquakes regularly, some measuring above 8.0 on the standard scale." Captain Zethvar's primary arms crossed while his secondary pair continued operating the command controls. "What about the weather patterns?" The display changed again, showing swirling atmospheric disturbances across the planet's surface. "Extreme weather phenomena occur almost daily," Yila reported. "Massive rotating storm systems with winds exceeding 200 units per hour. Electrical discharge events that could power our ship for a full cycle. Precipitation that ranges from frozen crystalline formations to acidic compounds." "And yet," Drex Thul added, manipulating the scanner controls, "the biodiversity readings are off the charts. This planet shouldn't support any life, let alone the incredible variety we're detecting." The science officer pulled up biological scans showing massive creatures roaming the surface, some weighing several tons, others showing predatory behavior that made the crew's protective instincts flare. "Look at these apex predators," he continued, highlighting several particularly dangerous specimens. "This one has crushing jaws that could bite through our ship's hull plating. These flying creatures show territorial aggression patterns that suggest they attack anything entering their airspace. And these aquatic specimens..." He paused, recalibrating the sensors. "They're larger than most space vessels." Engineer Kolron, a stocky Thurian whose rocky exterior provided natural armor, studied the mineral composition data. "The very ground appears hostile. Volcanic activity creates toxic gas emissions. The water sources contain enough dissolved minerals to poison most known species. The soil composition would burn through standard protective gear within hours." Captain Zethvar felt a chill run through his exoskeleton, despite the ship's controlled environment. In his years of exploration, he had encountered dangerous worlds before, but nothing approaching this level of hostility. The Galactic Federation had established the Death World classification system specifically to warn travelers away from planets that posed extreme risks. Class 15 represented the absolute upper limit, worlds so dangerous that even the most advanced civilizations avoided them entirely. "Captain," Yila's voice carried a note of confusion, "I'm picking up some unusual electromagnetic signatures from the surface. They're very faint, but they appear to be artificial. Impossible. Drexthul's mandibles clicked rapidly. No known species could establish any kind of technology on a Class 15 death world. The environmental factors alone would destroy any conventional materials within days. Zethvar moved closer to the scanner array. Define artificial, communications officer. The patterns are too regular to be natural phenomena. They appear to be electromagnetic fields generated by constructed objects. But, Captain, if these readings are accurate, whatever is creating these signatures is not only surviving on the surface, but appears to be thriving. The bridge fell silent except for the soft humming of the ship's life support systems. Each crew member processed the implications of what they were observing. The Federation's best scientists had spent centuries studying death worlds, and the consensus was universal. Class 15 worlds were uninhabitable death traps that even the most advanced terraforming technology couldn't tame. Could it be remnants of an ancient civilization, suggested Engineer Colron? Perhaps some automated systems that have continued functioning long after their creators perished? The energy signatures are too strong and too varied for simple automated systems, Yila replied, fine-tuning her instruments. Captain, I'm detecting multiple energy sources across different continents. Some appear to be mobile. Drexthul's scientific curiosity warred with his survival instincts. We should maintain our distance and observe from orbit. Whatever is down there, approaching that planet would be suicide for any known species. But Captain Zethvar was already considering their options. The possibility of discovering new technology or encountering an unknown civilization capable of surviving on a Class 15 death world could revolutionize their understanding of life in the galaxy. Continue monitoring those electromagnetic signatures, he ordered. I want detailed analysis of their patterns and locations. If there truly is intelligent life surviving on that world, we need to understand how. As the crew worked frantically to gather more data, none of them could imagine what they were about to discover. That the most dangerous world they had ever encountered was not only inhabited, but had been peacefully settled by the most unlikely species in the galaxy. 3 days of intensive scanning had yielded results that defied everything the Federation knew about planetary habitability. The electromagnetic signatures were not only artificial, but showed clear signs of sophisticated technology operating across the planet's surface. Captain, you need to see this. Yila's voice carried an excitement that made her crystalline skin pulse with brighter colors. She had been monitoring communication frequencies, hoping to intercept any transmissions from the mysterious inhabitants below. Captain Zethvar approached her station, where a complex waveform pattern danced across her screen. What am I looking at, communications officer? Structured radio transmissions, not just random energy, actual organized communication. But, Captain, the frequency patterns and modulation techniques are unlike anything in our databases. Chief Science Officer Drexthul joined them, his compound eyes studying the data. The mathematical structure suggests high intelligence, but the transmission methods are remarkably inefficient by galactic standards. Almost primitive, yet somehow effective in this hostile environment. Engineer Colron, who had been analyzing the energy signatures from his post, added his own disturbing discovery. The power sources I'm detecting aren't using any known energy generation methods. They appear to be burning organic compounds, literally setting materials on fire to create energy. It's incredibly wasteful, but somehow they've made it work on a massive scale. Captain Zethvar felt his confidence wavering. Every new piece of information painted a picture of inhabitants who defied conventional wisdom about survival and technology. Sir, Yila suddenly straightened at her station. I'm receiving a transmission directed at our ship. The bridge fell silent. Being detected by the surface inhabitants was not something they had anticipated. Put it through, Zethvar commanded. Static filled the bridge speakers, followed by a voice speaking in clearly articulated sounds. The universal translator struggled for a moment before providing a rough interpretation. Unknown vessel. This is Houston Space Control. We've been tracking your position for the past 72 hours. Please identify yourself and state your intentions. The crew exchanged bewildered looks. The voice sounded confident, almost casual, as if dealing with unidentified spacecraft was a routine matter. Houston Space Control? Drexthul's mandibles clicked in confusion. They've named their monitoring facility after what appears to be a geographical location. Captain, Yila whispered, the transmission is coming from the surface. They're operating advanced detection equipment on a Class 15 death world. Zethvar activated the communication array. Houston Space Control, this is Captain Zethvar of the Federation exploration vessel, Stellar Wanderer. We are conducting a scientific survey of your system. The response came quickly, with what the translator identified as amusement in the speaker's tone. Well, Captain Zethvar, you picked quite a system to survey. You're looking at Earth, third planet from our sun. We're humans, and this is our home. You're welcome to enter our orbital space if you come in peace. Humans, Engineer Colran repeated slowly, checking his databases. No such species exists in Federation records. And they call this planet Earth, added Drexthul, as if it's just ordinary ground beneath their feet. The casual nature of the humans' response was perhaps the most unsettling aspect of all. They spoke as if living on a Class 15 death world was perfectly normal. Houston Space Control, Zethvar continued. We must inform you that our sensors classify your planet as a Class 15 death world. We are amazed that any species could survive in such an environment. Laughter, actual laughter, came through the speakers. Death world? Well, I suppose it can be challenging sometimes. We've got some rough weather and you have to watch out for the wildlife, but we've been here for about 200,000 years. You get used to it. Yila's skin had gone completely pale, the light patterns flickering erratically. Captain, they're treating a Class 15 death world like a minor inconvenience. With respect, Houston Space Control, Zethvar pressed, your planet exhibits extreme atmospheric composition, dangerous gravity levels, catastrophic weather patterns, hostile wildlife, and unstable geology. How do your people survive? Oh, you mean the oxygen levels? Yeah, we need that to breathe. The gravity keeps us strong. Weather's just weather. We build our homes to handle it. Wildlife's not so bad once you understand their behavior. And earthquakes? We've learned to predict them pretty well and build accordingly. Drexthul was frantically running calculations. Captain, they're describing adaptation strategies to environmental factors that should be immediately lethal to any biological organism. The human voice continued, We've got cities all over the planet. About 8 billion of us living here. If you want to visit, I can arrange clearance through our space agencies. Fair warning, though, you might want to check if your life support systems can handle our atmosphere. Most species find 21% oxygen a bit much. 8 billion, Colran repeated in disbelief. They have 8 billion individuals living on a Class 15 death world. And they're offering us landing clearance, Yila added, her voice barely above a whisper. The human continued speaking, apparently checking some kind of information system. I see your ship's configuration suggests you're from somewhere in the Zeta Reticuli region. We haven't had visitors from that area before. Most of our previous contact has been with species from closer star systems. Previous contact? Zethvar felt as if the universe had shifted around him. You've had contact with other species? Oh, sure. The Centaurians visit regularly. They're only about 4 light years away. Trade partners, you know. The Vegans drop by occasionally, though they find our planet a bit too exciting for extended stays. And we've had a few research teams from other systems studying our ecosystems. The bridge crew was speechless. Not only had humans survived on a Class 15 death world, but they had established diplomatic relationships with other species. treated their deadly environment as normal living space, and built a thriving civilization with billions of inhabitants. Houston Space Control, Zethvar finally managed. We would very much like to learn more about your species and how you've achieved such remarkable adaptation to your environment. Adaptation? The human sounded genuinely puzzled. We didn't adapt to anything. This is just where we evolved. Earth made us who we are. I guess you could say we're built for this place. As the transmission ended and they arranged for a formal meeting, Captain Zethvar realized they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. They had discovered a species that didn't just survive on the most dangerous type of planet in the galaxy. They called it home and couldn't imagine living anywhere else. The meeting was arranged at what the humans called the International Space Station, orbiting 400 kilometers above Earth's surface. Captain Zethvar had insisted on this compromised location, unwilling to risk his crew on the planet's surface despite human assurances of safety. Dr. Sarah Chen, the human representative, arrived via what they called a shuttle, a primitive chemical-burning spacecraft that nonetheless operated with impressive efficiency. As she docked with their vessel, Zethvar marveled at the casual confidence with which she maneuvered through the debris field surrounding Earth. Debris field? Dr. Chen had laughed when he mentioned it. Oh, you mean our satellites? We've got about 30,000 objects up here. Communication satellites, weather monitoring, navigation systems, research equipment. It's a bit crowded, but traffic control keeps everything sorted. The human had entered their ship wearing a simple pressure suit, removing her helmet to reveal features that seemed impossibly delicate for a creature from a death world. She was small by galactic standards, her skin a warm brown color with dark hair pulled back efficiently. But what struck Zethvar most were her eyes, bright with intelligence and completely unafraid. "Thank you for meeting with us, Dr. Chen," Zethvar began formally. "We are honored to be the first Federation representatives to encounter your species." "Actually," Dr. Chen settled into the chair they had prepared, "you're not. We've been in contact with 17 different species over the past 50 years. The Federation just hasn't made it out to our little corner of the galaxy yet." Chief Science Officer Drex Thule leaned forward eagerly. "We must understand how your species manages to thrive in such extreme conditions. Your planet's environmental factors should make complex civilization impossible." Dr. Chen looked puzzled. "Extreme conditions? I suppose it depends on your perspective. What seems extreme to you is just Tuesday for us." She pulled out a small device, apparently a portable computer. "Let me show you some data that might help explain." The holographic display filled with information about human physiology that made the alien crew's eyes widen in disbelief. "See, humans are persistence hunters," Dr. Chen explained matter-of-factly. "We can run for hours without stopping. Our cardiovascular system is designed to deliver oxygen efficiently even under stress. That 20% oxygen you find so dangerous, we need it to fuel our metabolisms." Engineer Colran studied the data streams. "Your cellular structure shows adaptation to high oxygen environments, but also remarkable resistance to oxygen toxicity. And your bone density, it's designed to handle the gravitational stress we detected." "Our ancestors evolved on Earth over millions of years," Dr. Chen continued. "Every environmental challenge shaped us. Ice ages that lasted thousands of years. We learned to make fire and build shelters. Predators that could crush us. We developed tools and learned to hunt in groups. Natural disasters? We became experts at reading environmental signs and building resilient communities." Communications Officer Yila had been quietly analyzing the humans' biosignatures. "Dr. Chen, your stress hormone levels remain completely stable despite being surrounded by unknown alien beings. Your species doesn't appear to experience normal survival fear responses." Dr. Chen smiled. "Fear's useful, but panic gets you killed. We learned early that staying calm and thinking clearly beats running around screaming." though we do plenty of that too when the situation calls for it. But how do you handle the geological instability? Drexthul pressed. Our scans show massive earthquake zones across your continents. Well, we can't stop earthquakes, so we learn to predict them and build accordingly. Same with hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, tsunamis. We study them, develop early warning systems, and design our infrastructure to withstand them. When that's not enough, we evacuate and rebuild. The casual way she discussed catastrophic natural disasters left the aliens speechless. What she described as routine emergency management would challenge the most advanced Federation disaster response teams. And the wildlife? Colran asked. Our sensors detected predators with bite forces that could crush our hull plating. Oh, you probably spotted some of our large predators. Sharks, crocodiles, bears, big cats. Yeah, they're dangerous if you're not careful, but humans figured out pretty early that we're tool users, not claw and fang users. We don't fight a grizzly bear hand-to-hand. We use weapons, traps, or just stay out of their territory. Most animals avoid humans anyway. We're loud, we travel in groups, and we smell weird to them. Dr. Chen pulled up images of human cities, showing structures that seemed to grow organically from the landscape, while somehow withstanding the environmental pressures the aliens had measured. The thing is, Earth didn't try to kill us. Earth made us. Every challenge pushed us to become smarter, stronger, more cooperative. The oxygen levels that seem toxic to you, they let us maintain active metabolisms even in extreme conditions. The gravity that seems crushing. It gave us strong bones and efficient cardiovascular systems. The weather that seems chaotic. It taught us to be adaptable and resourceful. Captain Zethvar finally understood what he was looking at. Your species wasn't surviving on a death world. You were shaped by it into something that could thrive anywhere. Exactly. We call it evolution. And the really interesting thing, all that adaptation made us curious about what's beyond our atmosphere. Earth may be home, but we've always looked at the stars and wondered who else is out there. She gestured toward the view screen, showing Earth below them. We've got colonies on our moon, research stations on Mars, and exploration missions headed to the outer planets of our solar system. Earth taught us that no environment is truly impossible if you understand it and respect it. Drexthul's mandibles clicked in amazement. A species that treats Class 15 environmental conditions as evolutionary advantages. And now, Dr. Chen concluded, we're ready to meet our neighbors. Earth gave us everything we need to explore the galaxy: endurance, adaptability, problem-solving skills, and the ability to work together when things get dangerous, which, knowing the galaxy as we're starting to, happens pretty often. As Captain Zethvar prepared his report for the Federation, he realized he wasn't just documenting first contact with a new species. He was announcing the arrival of something unprecedented, a people forged by the most hostile environment imaginable into something that might just be unstoppable among the stars. Earth hadn't tried to kill humanity. It had spent millions of years creating the ultimate survivors.